asking people to pass through and then taking the actual federal money and not giving it back to who they say they're going to give it to.
Because that was the whole intent.
That's the whole intent.
To have some so-called minority companies involved in the business enterprise. You got county, you got federal dollars coming through the state, coming through the county. That is that's something else.
I mean, it's an insult because not only are they saying that they don't want you to participate in the economic gains that companies make in prisons, what they're saying is that they don't want you to even be able to make money off the backs of your own people. They're saying to black businesses that if we use you, we're only going to use you as a pass-through. We don't want you to legitimately ever do anything, which at this point, $12 million in a contract allows you to build capacity, to move on to another level.
Right.
But you never get the opportunity to build capacity because you never get the opportunity to perform the task.
And see, one thing about building capacity, you had mentioned earlier, and I think they understand it, but they don't understand the legal implications. If I allow myself to be a pass-through, then I got my state, I got my federal taxes, my workman's comp, my insurance. I got to have invoices. I got to have receipts for products, goods bought and sold. You know, it's a lot of matter of fact, you got more trouble trying to put together a pass-through that makes it look like you legitimate than if you would just run a legitimate business.
I mean, it's very easy to perform the task if you do it right.
You know, this is what I was looking at was it said the defendants were aware that their actions violated this Illinois code for kickbacks, for bribery, false statements, fraudulently obtaining and retaining certification, fraudulently obtaining public monies reserved for disadvantaged business enterprises.
I mean, that's a 43-page brief, and they normally, in a lawsuit like this, they normally 3 or 4 pages. But because all those statutes fall under some kind of fraudulent act, we had to put them all in there.
And you know, I just can't, you know, and then you went and got a warehouse. You know, $35,000 for a tractor trailer to run
the commissary from the warehouse to the jail, which is normally 6 to 8 trips a week.
And then you tell somebody, I'm going to hire you to drive the tractor trailer at $24 an hour. You know, and then the $50,000 in repairs for a warehouse that you weren't purchasing, you were just leasing.
The build house, right?
To get it built out.
To get it according to what they said the specs had to be when they're doing business with a so-called minority.
What do you think, without putting the lawsuit in jeopardy, do you think that you would get some type of reciprocity on this and they'll find these people in violation, and do you think it'll have any type of effect on Africans in America, disadvantaged business, minority business, women business enterprise, breaking through the barriers, or do you think that they're just going to continue to go back to business as usual?
Well, I think they see my case as an isolated incident, that most black people don't refuse money, and that they will continue to operate as business as usual. I mean, and make sure from this point on that the pass-throughs won't be reneging on what they're supposed to be doing, because I think they see me as somebody that reneged on what they thought that I was going to do, which I don't know how they thought that, because I had no intention of passing through.
Right, they just assumed. That you would do what others before you had done.
There were 7 entities to this contract, and it was supposed to have been 7 minorities. I was supposed to only have one aspect of it, and it was supposed to have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They gave me all 7 of them.
So they cut the other people out.
Cut the other people out because they didn't want to cut 7 pass-through checks. So it'd been easy for them to just cut 1 check. And the county told them, "Are you sure you want to give it all to one minority vendor?" And they said, yeah. So the county was in bed with them all along because the county agreed with it when the county should have never agreed to it.
And then you got these complaints.